We meet the second Tuesdays of each month, currently at 5 o'clock, usually to 5:30 or 6. And on the call, on the Zoom today, are me, co-chair Barry Dilley, co-chair, and Claire Caicedo. The other committee members of the committee, and they haven't joined us yet. Maybe they'll join us later. So we'll
like at 5:30.
Yes, I hope not. I hope they're not thinking 5:30. So I did contact them individually.
Is Joan still on our committee?
Joan, I don't know if you know, she has. She's doing a hybrid position now with WUB and the station.
She's what? I'm sorry?
A hybrid position, programming position with WUB in Athens, and her hometown is Dayton, and with the public TV station in Dayton. So she has sold her home and purchased the house in Dayton, so she's doing great.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure when she's really going to be a resident of Dayton, I guess so.
Oh, so we'll lose her.
I know. So the first order of business is, and of course, we wish Joan very well. She's been a great addition to our committee, and we're going to miss her. New business that we might think about other community members who might want to be a member of this Education Outreach Committee. So if you have thoughts and suggestions, I think if you have any names that we can just throw those out, and you can contact the ones you might be thinking about, and I can contact the ones that might be thinking about on my list.
It's hard for me to think about when I'm not seeing people.
We can't. Is there someone talking?
Me.
Oh, we can't. Okay. Yes, I hear someone talking, saying Carolyn. Yes. Who are you? Yes, what is your name? Someone just said hello. Can you hear anybody? Is it just me?
I can't hear anybody.
Someone is saying hello.
There's something in the background of somebody's. I'm not sure where that's coming from, to be honest with you.
Someone's saying Carolyn, hello, and they said she can't. She said she couldn't hear me. I mean, there's nothing in my background.
It's not on your phone?
No. No. Okay, well, we'll keep going. It's just some kind of little interruption there, but we'll keep going. So any names that you might know of who might be wanting, or we might approach about serving on this committee?
The hard part for me is I'm not seeing anybody, and so it's, I don't think about that when I'm sort of sitting at home. It's usually when I'm interacting with people that I'll get inspired.
Yeah, who I was thinking about, Barry? We'd asked her one other time, but she was fairly busy. She might have a little bit more time now. That's Rebecca Miller.
She's on a couple of committees, but she's going to be working with us in some way with Davy, because I've hooked up the two committees together.
That's right, about the aging and everything.
Aging and whatever it's called now.
Well, let's think about it and keep it on the agenda as we move forward.
Yeah.
And between now and the next meeting, and I'll make sure it's in the notes, that we think about people who might want to serve. So we'll strike Rebecca. Don't want to overdo her, overuse her, get her overcommitted. So the next item, any more new business that you might want to bring up? Any more new business? Okay, we will go to old business. And the first item is the Athena Award discussion. As to, we talked about 3 different ways to do it. You'll have to help me with those. One was just completely virtual, right?
Yeah.
And we would do that by Zoom. Mm-hmm. The other would be on the government channel. Of course, it would be on there pretty much anyway, I would assume. And then the other would be distancing and in person. Of course, all the committee members on here will need to check. Of course, it's need to go to the commission as well next month. And we will kind of make some suggestions, maybe give 1, 2, and 3. What do you think?
Question, if we do the government channel, we'd be doing what we're doing right now?
If we did the government channel, we'd be doing what we're doing right now, yes.
Okay, so how would that be more difficult for people who are going to be given the awards to show up or any of that?
No, they would show up by Zoom, just like we are now.
Okay.
We would ask them, those who are the finalists, to
So
join
what's the difference between the government channel and Zoom?
You can do a Zoom personally. It's really nothing. You can do the same thing, but because we have to do everything on the government channel, facilitated by the government channel, right now, we can't do a personal Zoom. So it's a Zoom, government channel Zoom. Maybe we should say that, through the government channel, and we would do a Zoom through the government channel. Yes, it wouldn't be anything separate. You're right, Barry.
Okay, so if our choice would be either doing Zoom via the government channel or in person, limited or larger.
Those would be the two choices. Absolutely right.
Well, my vote is to have it over Zoom, because, I mean, they canceled football. That's a big deal. So,
That's a big one, yes.
Football's a whole lot bigger than our little group.
Well, I just, I think, one, it would set an example of, that we're taking this seriously, and this is what we do, is we look out for each other as a commission and protect our community and advocate for our community as a commission. But also, I just, with it being in November, with it being so close to Election Day, and we're not quite sure how that's going to work out, whether people are going to have to go to the polls and be exposed to all of this, and then the next day they're going to show up at a ceremony. And also with the students possibly coming back too, that's also up in the air. There's so much in the mix. So I think maybe my suggestion is to make the decision to have it over Zoom, publicize it as much as possible, and then just pour our energy into that. So
I agree, Claire. And instead of, we could get to people to do video, but we could do a really nice slideshow and information over the, as part of the presentation. And then, of course, do like we did. And the recipient of this year's is, same thing. Yeah, we could do that very nicely. And everyone would be on the Zoom over the government channel. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm more for, as you point out, with the election right at the same time. Mm-hmm. And do with Zoom, and then hopefully if things settle down, we could have a reception later, or it could be combined the following year.
I agree. Invite the recipient and then even the finalists to come for the reception for the next year. Make sure they get there. Okay.
So if we do it with Zoom, would we then send out invitations to the nominees and to the nominators and friends?
Yes. And just like Patty does now, and Scott, they would put it on the government channel on the city site so that people would know, because it's a public meeting. And then, of course, we would have it on Facebook, and anybody wanting to join could view. They might not have access to talk and participate.
Right.
They could be a part of it. Yes.
So the people that would be on the government channel part, they would be like the recipients and the nominators. But then the audience would be the friends and all that, and they could go through Facebook, but they would be just observing.
They could go on, they could be sent, they'll see the link actually on the city site. So we'll lead them to where they can get the link. Is that right, Scott?
Yeah, that we would you could watch through Zoom, or you could watch through Facebook or on TV, or however you wanted to watch. And then people who would be presenters or recipients would all be in the window like you guys are having the meeting now, and that sort of thing.
So we just have to figure out how to make all that clear when we get closer to time.
Yeah, what we'll do is whatever we draft, and Claire, you'll be a big part of that in the communications committee. We'll run it by you to make sure we have the language right. Scott, that's okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Because then we'll have to build an invitation list via the people who are being nominated, and I'll send them that link.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
disappointed.
But that settles it. I mean, I really feel good about that we can do this and facilitate this way.
Yeah. You know, what we could do is, my mind is going, we could send flowers to the various recipients. We have to have, we can't, depending on how many we have in the larger bunch, but at least we could send it to the top 3 or something like that.
Well, in addition, like we did the certificates last year, we could also send their finalist certificates in advance.
Yeah.
Hold up when the recipient is announced the award, and whoever's going to say that, the mayor would hold it up and say, and the recipient is, and we'll get your award. Or maybe I don't know, we'll figure out some creative way to do it, but
something that'll make it more special and for the people.
Yeah, I'll contact Patty and let her know. Well, after the commission meeting next week, and we present this to them, and they agree. I believe they will go along with this. We will contact the mayor and give him the details so he'll know what's going on. Okay, I like it. So all we need to do is the next meeting, Barry, I think, get our heads together. And I was on, Claire, bless her heart, was giving me a tutorial on Google Docs a little bit before we got on here. And we were saying, how do we then decide over Zoom who the finalists will be and the recipients, since this is so public? So what's the legalities of us then discussing that we have so many recipients? These are some of the qualifications that we found, or whatever, how we do it. And then if we give our top 3.
Isn't there a way of the executives, making decisions that aren't public?
We could go to executive session, absolutely.
So that we could do it that way, I would assume.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't thinking we could do that. Okay. Select the top 3, and then October pass them along to the commission for their approval, and then to the mayor. So anything else on the award discussion?
We're supposed to see them next month.
We're supposed to have, did I send all of those to you, the ones that I have?
I think so. It's a little overwhelming, but yeah.
Yeah, I think there were 5, right? Were there 5?
I don't remember, something like that.
5, no more than 6. But I sent those to you, and then I have another. Remember, we said if you have additional information you want to share, I did get one person to send something additionally, so I'll send that to you.
Any new people?
Not so far, and I've been checking the email just every week, sometimes twice a week, because we've been telling them, if you want to join these meetings, let us know about 10 o'clock the day of, and we'll let you know how you can do it, but nothing so far. But JW, I thought he was hoping he would be here, because he said he had a really good speaking engagement with the veterans, and they were so interested in what we're doing. And so we're talking, thinking that maybe one of them might want to think about joining a committee to eventually get on the commission at some point so they can be involved. He said it was a really, really, had a lot of questions and a really, really good session with the veterans.
Was that on Zoom too?
No, he spoke to them in person.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he went to I think they're on, are they in the Plains or West Union? I'm not sure, somewhere.
West Union. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they distanced and went in person. So he spoke to them and said it was an exciting meeting.
Oh, that's great.
And so we'll just do that one right now. So I spoke to the Civitans on Zoom. And it was really good because most of them, if not all, of course, because of last year, Barry, remember what last year, we could say how many of you know about the commission, but everybody knew now about the commission and what we do because we were there last year. Oh, that's okay. Because we were there last year. Yeah. The interesting thing about Zoom.
Right.
Just wait a second. But anyway, Barry, all of them knew about us and what we do and very interested in our work and what can they do to help us. And
good.
we're going to stay in touch.
And did you mention that we needed more nominations?
I did. Of course I did.
And the artists.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned that and the artists as well. And of course, they did nominate someone. We have a nominee from Civitans. No, maybe Civitans. For one of the civic groups in our group this year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's one in there. So we'll go to calling all artists, and next month I'll send out the flyer again with the addition that you gave me today, Barry. And also, didn't hear anything back from Mr. Rob. We'll send him one again. And there's another.
Start calling people.
Well, we've got the list of every faculty member who is in the design and art department at the college, and the superintendent of schools, and then the extra people. And we were speaking to the civic club, so I'm not sure. I wouldn't even know. Maybe you have some people who you know who are designers that we can call. One person might be Terry Eiler. He might know some people.
Yeah.
Be interested.
I talked to Joe Broomfield, and he said he doesn't do that kind of thing, but he would tell friends.
Oh, good.
So even telling people we know who might know people, you know.
Okay. I'll give Terry a call then. And maybe you're right. Word of mouth is frequently the best thing to do.
I wonder about getting Dave Parmler to talk about it.
He has.
Has he?
And yeah, he has, but I think in next month, we're going to try to do it again. I might, and it's interesting. One of the editorials we sent out, of course, they're the editorials columns we sent out. Of course, they're pretty long because of the paper. But WEAK contacted me and said, if you can make this a minute, I'll run it. And I forget which one it was, so I cut it down to a minute. It wasn't Noah's, I forget which one it was. It wasn't George Clare, but I cut it down and they ran it. So I'm going to ask Dave if I can send him a 1 minute spot, would he run it, and same for WEAK.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I was thinking because the faculty isn't back, and some of them, since they don't get paid when they're not teaching, they aren't even looking at that stuff until they're back under contract.
Well, the first one they received, though, was back in January.
Well, that feels far away.
But then they received another one in May.
Yeah.
And then another one in September.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get names of the people who teach art in the public school?
No, I didn't. No, I just had the superintendent's name. That was it. That might be a thought.
Yeah, because I do know the high school teacher, and I'm going to contact her.
Oh, if you could do that and send the flyer, that would be good, and see if she knows anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, because she has students too.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't talked to her. I've talked to her mother-in-law, but she was saying, she's worrying about teaching art online and all of that. Mm-hmm. So this might be an interesting project for her to talk to her students about.
Okay. Great. So Claire, we'll be calling on you to help with these 1 minute spots and maybe to do some contacts in a little bit. So thank you.
Sure.
All right. Anything else on calling on artists? We talked about the civic organizations and the veterans. So you can just give a recap of the oral history and what you plan to do.
So yes, Barry and I touched base a little bit before the meeting officially started, but I believe that the three of us are going to meet over Zoom sometime within the next week or so. And I'm going to have to refresh myself on the talking points and just kind of how the narrative is going to work. But Barry, I know that you are the ultimate expertise in that, so I don't think I'm going to have to do that much research.
The only thing you have to do is keep Joe and me on task, because we're really good at kind of going this way and that way.
Sure.
But some of it's kind of fun, because we sat at his kitchen table and worked on this stuff and not really having any, by the time we got to that, we were, I think we had a sample bylaws from one of the other commissions, and then we were trying to write this thing, and then Joe couldn't see, so I'm reading and he's right, So and Linda was serving us lunch.
Oh boy. So I think I'll try to find the email, but if you look back and search your emails, I think we sent some of the talking points.
Right.
It's been a while ago, maybe back in January, February, maybe February.
It's a while, because I talked to him just before all of this.
Yeah, it was, at least February, maybe March. I think you're going to do it in March once you're going to start it. So you probably should look back in February and you'll see that. If you can't find them, let me know and I'll try to search too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
we'll
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you want to talk to me, Claire, before we're meeting and going over some of the questions that would or would not make any difference.
Sure. Okay. I think, once we establish, a time through email and everything, possibly by the next education and outreach meeting, we'll have something to show. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
A good start. Of course, we plan to do, I think we talked about maybe one a month or so, but we are behind, but it's no fault of our own, but we'll at least get the beginnings down. This will be really good. Any other old business? So our next meeting will be Tuesday, September the 8th at 5 o'clock.
September 8th?
It's September 8th, right? Is that right? At 5 o'clock. And you're right, Barry, maybe the 5:30 kind of threw everybody off, but I've sent 2 messages on that, so maybe just ingrained in the mind 5:30. So we'll make that clear.
We'll know in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We'll have some folks signing on in about, maybe we should wait a minute or so to see who comes on. Let them know that it's going to be 5 o'clock next time. But we changed it to 5 so that because of Cheryl's Wi-Fi in her house, so she could go to the library and participate from 5 to 6.
Okay, so I forget, are we supposed to be reading these things over for the September meeting? And then I think, because we make a decision in October and then hand it off to the commission as a whole the following week. And then that's done.
Yeah, we should. Scott, are you still on here? I have a question for you.
That's so quick.
Yes.
How do committees of council, if they go into executive session, how do they do it on Zoom?
We have to set up 2 Zoom sessions. One that is like you're in, that's open to the public. And then we have another one running simultaneously that's not open to the public. And the members would have to leave this meeting and log into the other one. I would stay here and leave this meeting open. You would go into Ryan's private meeting, and then when you're done with that, log back into your original meeting here to close out your...
Or maybe we don't need to, though, do we, Carolyn? Maybe just do executive session for that October one.
Yeah, that would be the October one. We would make the decision because the next week would be the commission meeting.
Yeah.
We would present it to them. So maybe we would...
I'm trying to figure out what we're supposed to do in September.
You might want to consult with Patty on rules of committees.
Yeah, I think we have to do an open meeting of our committee and then go into executive session. Then because we have to come back to the meeting and
To close
not
it.
announce names in particular, but what the results that we did decide on
Right.
the recipients and the finalists, and the event will be by Zoom, whatever we're going to say. We don't have to give the names, but we did make a decision, right?
Sure. Yeah, you would. Yeah.
That would all be in October, though.
That would be in October. That's right.
So if we want to work on it in September,
Yeah.
and talk about it, that we would need to do an executive.
Yeah, yes,
Talk name.
in September, we could do that. We could do that all in October, actually. We could read them over for ourselves in September, and by our meeting in October, have our meeting open, go into executive session, maybe have any other, we shouldn't have much other on the agenda, but that. And
I guess my question is, and this is again probably a Patty question, is do your rules allow you to just have a flat out executive session? Like we could just have a close to the public meeting?
No,
Okay.
I know that we have to have an open to the public meeting, go into executive session, because you always have to come out and announce what you talked about. And if we didn't have an open meeting, there'd be no way to announce to the public that we did come to a conclusion, and we don't have to say the names, but that we did vote on a recipient.
Yeah, we can set that up.
Okay, so that would be October then. Our second Tuesday in October, whatever date that is. And of course, as always, Scott will give you a heads up on it. That would be the 13th of October that we would do that on. And then the commission meeting is the 21st. That's cutting it close again.
Of course.
Still, that would give us time. I mean, even after we meet on the 13th, we can notify the recipients that they're finalists, and that there will be a Zoom, and we get back in touch with them on the date on November 4th, so that they can be prepared. November 4th at 5 o'clock. That's usually when we have the ceremony.
So we would let them know after our meeting on the 13th.
After our meeting on the 13th, and then after our meeting with the commission, once we present the top 3 names to the commission, and then the next day the mayor gives his okay, then we can contact. We didn't let the recipient know last year, did we? It was a surprise. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe after we get through the process of the mayor for the top 3, that's when we contact them. I wouldn't want to do anything without going through that process.
Oh, we're as usual, we're tight.
Yes, we are. But, since it's Zoom and no one everybody's home anyway, just about. So we can.
So maybe next year we should move it all up 1 month.
We'd have to change the bylaws then too.
It always says 90 days or something before, but if we just moved everything up 1 month, I don't know. We'll have to look at it.
It says July 1st,
really tight.
announced on October, through October 1st. It says that clearly in the bylaws. We'd have to change those dates then back.
Well,
90 days, I agree. Yeah, maybe we should change it to September 1st. I agree, because it is tight.
it's really tight. And if we're going to plan a big party or something next year, it's going to make it horrible again.
So, Mary, now that we're working on the bylaws, maybe we can think about changing that, and as we bring it to the commission, once the bylaws, they're ready to go to the commission now because everyone's had input. And so we can make that change if we want to, or make that.
And I don't think that would have to go to city council or anything.
No, it's not a major change. It's not a major, no.
No.
So, okay, well, anything else to the good of the order? I think I skipped something in the minutes. After the call to order, we didn't approve the minutes, or did we?
No.
I don't think we did.
Okay, so did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep.
Okay, there a motion to approve? You know what? Well, we don't have a quorum. So, do we, of our 8-member, now 7-member committee?
Oh.
So, if we have one more person, we could. So we'll just note that we all review the minutes at the next meeting, we will vote on these minutes. So a motion to adjourn then.
Okay. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon, Claire.
Good.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Claire, talk to you later.